Hi, thank you for joining me here at Laura's View and Tarot 2. Today's date is Wednesday, May 18th, 2022, as I record this, but it probably will be the 19th by the time it goes live on YouTube. I wanted to talk tonight about a European leader that the more I read about, the more I admire. His name is Viktor Orbán. He is the Prime Minister of Hungary. On Monday, when elections were held, he was reelected for his 5th term in office. There's been no hue and cry that there's any election irregularities. The man and his party that he represents do seem to be popular, and I wondered why, because the press about him outside of his borders isn't always favorable. Because can you imagine, this man has had the nerve to stop the migrant explosion in his country. He's protecting his borders. Oh my goodness, no wonder people are outraged. But more than that, he made a speech when he was sworn in again for his 5th term of office that seemed very, very conservative. And I wanted to know a little bit more. Let me share with you one. I'm going to share 2 different screens, and we'll understand possibly a little bit more about this small landlocked country of Hungary, which shares one part of its border with Ukraine. So if you're looking on a map, you can find it. I'd love to visit there someday. Okay. So when he was sworn in, he gave a speech, and he said, in Hungary, a father shall be a man, a mother a woman, and our children shall be left alone. And as I said, he has limited the immigration into Hungary. And he said that 30 years ago, we thought that Europe was our future. Today, we think that we are Europe's future. Let us feel the weight of our responsibility. And there was just a really sweet clip here of his granddaughter bringing him a card and congratulating him after he was sworn in. So that's one share I wanted to do with you. And the next one comes from CNN from June 25th of 2021. When it was critical of the legislation that had been passed in Hungary that it banned LGBTQ content in schools. Now, when Mr. Orbán was interviewed, he said it's not about homosexuals or homosexuality. In fact, he has fought for their rights back when communism was part of Hungary. So he was part of the reason that they have rights, homosexualities. He said this bill that he had passed, and this was in December of 2020, they redefined the concept of family. And then they said that the laws about deciding the kind of way parents would like to sexually educate their kids, and with that right exclusively belonging to the parents. It almost sounds like he is the European Ron DeSantis, because he urged people to read his bill before they criticized it, and it seems like they didn't. And I think the same thing happened in Florida when they just gave it a catchy name that had nothing to do with what the bill was really about. I'm a big proponent of family rights, and I know many of them are dysfunctional, and many of them may make poor choices, but families, especially ones that are trying to have some virtue education for their children, they get to decide when those virtues are introduced, to what extent, and I think they should have a right to decide when sensitive topics are introduced, and to what extent. Anyway, so I would like to ask the cards tonight about this Viktor Orbán in Hungary. Just a second, I need to stop a screen here so my system's slow. Okay, so what would the universe like us to know about Viktor Orbán, the Prime Minister of Hungary? And is Hungary going to be a flagship, kind of a policy setter for Europe in the years coming forward and the changes that are coming to our Earth? I have a feeling he is one of the leaders that would not have to worry about global election results. Let's see what the universe has to. Card 1, the Sun. Card 2, Queen of Swords. 3, King of Swords. 4, Six of Wands. 5, Judgment. 6 is Knight of Cups. And 7 is Queen of Cups. Okay, let's look at those cards. Situation is the Sun, which is a very loving energy. The child in there is an innocent energy. It looks like things are looking favorable for Mr. Viktor Orbán to be indeed a popular leader, even if he's not espousing the woke agenda that the EU wants everybody to be mouthing. Queen of Swords clarifies the situation for him. Queen of Swords is about clear thinking, objectivity, very fair, and very, very wise. So there's a wise energy going on here. Recent past is the King of Wands. King of Wands, while a very active type of energy, has vision, wisdom, and so he is looking out for his country, protecting his country's interests to the best of his ability. That's kind of borne out by the present card, which is the Victory Wands card of 6, because wreaths are victories when they show up in a spread. Now, looking ahead, because we asked if that Hungary and his leadership would actually be a beacon for the rest of the European Union. It looks like there is going to be, now this is not for Hungary, this is for his neighbors that we were asking about. They are going to be facing some judgment. And they're going to continue to attack the policies, even though they're popular within his own borders and amongst his people, and the values that Mr. Orbán is advocating for. So I don't think his policies are going to become part and parcel of the culture of the rest of the EU nations, even if it might not be a bad thing if they did. But he's solidly, he is the real deal, folks. He really is. And with his leadership, he's going to show some compassion towards the neighbors and the criticism he receives, and even the lies that will be spoken about him. Let's see if there's a little more clarification from the cards before we wrap this up. We have the Nine of Cups. And we have the Temperance card. So I think what we're getting is that even though the media, the mainstream world media, would like to paint him as an extremist, he's really temperate in his and moderate in his views. I liked what I read, that he believed in the rights of people who, the homosexual community, and I think that's true. That's what I'm getting here. But he is trying to also look out for parental rights, which I'm a big advocate for. So even though he may not be the beacon that they want, maybe it's something that they want to look at a little closer in other countries. You know, everybody gets the rights, but that doesn't mean at the expense of family rights. That's an interesting concept that I think ought to be more common. And thank you to Mr. Orbán, and then leaders within our own shores like Governor DeSantis that has the same outlook. Thank you. Okay, that's it for this read. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for being part of this journey I'm on. We're all on. And remember, folks, we have so much to be thankful for, and we have made progress, even if it's not in our faces. There are good people and good energies and good beings who are working to free humanity. I truly believe that. And even though I want it to happen yesterday, as far as disclosure, so we can just start helping these silly sleepers, when they get jolted awake, I am thankful for their efforts and their sacrifices. Good night.